good one there. Hey guys, Joe Holland here. I'm going to show you my setup for drop shot, and I've been whaling some pretty good smallies lately up here in Maine. A lot of questions on it, and this will probably be the easiest way to answer all those. My favorite hook is the Gamakatsu drop shot hook. One's a good size for these smallmouth. It's good for largemouth too. I found the smaller the hook, the easier it is to keep these fish pegged. That hook kind of wedges in, gets them in the top of the mouth, and it's pretty much impossible to shake the thing out. And I use the Gamakatsus. They're strong, they're sharp, they don't break, which is a good thing with drop shot hooks. The knot I'm tying, I'll show you that. So basically, you have your hook face like this, and I go in through the back door of it, send it through, bring it out, send it back through the same hole, so you have a loop on one end, like that. Leave yourself maybe 12 to 18 inches, depending on what you're looking for a drop end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my line, go back up. I'll show you all this later on, slow-mo or whatever. But you're going to wrap it through that loop you just made. Realistically, all you need is about 2 or 3 passes through that. I put 3, maybe 4, depending on what I'm using for a pound test. Wet her down, then cinch her tight. Pull it through. Now your line's already down through your hook, through your eye, because I sent that through the backside. And you're gonna have a double there, so all the pressure of that knot is pinching down on a double tag end, which is nice too. So you get you don't get very many break-offs from pinching down. And then after you have that knot pulled tight and you have that loop over like that, you could trim that really close. Careful not to nick your main line, but yeah, you can trim that really close. There's your knot. And then I like the Rain's tungsten drop shot weights. Rain's one of the best weight companies in the business. We just got a little 1/4 ounce there today. I've been running, I don't really go much more than 12 inches on the drop line to the weight, and if you leave a little extra, it leaves you some room on your knot. So that's about 10 to 12 inches right there. Cinch it in. Sometimes if you want, you can tie an overhand knot in there just to make sure. These tungsten weights aren't cheap, so you hate for one just to slide off. You're going to lose them fishing in the rocks anyway, but you'd rather lose them that way than just sliding off your hook. So I tie a little extra knot in the tag end. And then my absolute favorite bait of all time for drop shotting, especially on smallmouth, crush the largies on it too, is the Gambler 4-inch shaky shad. This thing, and green pumpkin, we got a bunch of colors out too, but for smallies, but it's really hard to beat that in green pumpkin. So, and what I do is I'll just nose hook it, just go through, maybe take like a 16th, so there it is, and I get the flat side up. This bait floats, which is really good. It adds a ton of action to it. And then when you fish this thing, you don't have to move your rod a lot. You know, that's one mistake a lot of guys get, is they get in that jigging action like this with their drop shot, and just sitting it there, you can't stop the thing from moving, even if you try, even if you put it on limp line, because it's floating and moving around, and if you have any current. So that's my rig. That's my setup for drop shot. It's pretty simple. The hook's stout, the knot's good, the weight's awesome, and that's pretty much the only bait you're ever going to need for drop shotting these big smallies. I'll show you how it's done. bad fish at the end of the day on it. That's what we're doing right there, folks. Drop shotting. Putting the old gambler shaky shads to work. Loose spinning rods and reels. Super smooth. I don't know if you heard that drag, but sometimes big baits are better, and sometimes, a lot of times actually, more often than not, something that small and not much plastic there is going to catch a giant fish like this one. That's a high quality smallmouth right there for anywhere, especially in Maine.